Hello. Awaja. Okay, so we are going to start with OrderCloud introductory session. Um, it is more of like how we navigate through OrderCloud and the basics of OrderCloud, but I'm open for any technical discussion which is needed in depth for OrderCloud. So, hi, I'm Deepak. I work as an architect in horizontal integration or horizontal digital. I'm working here for around 7 years. I have total experience of 10 years, and I have almost delivered 3 projects on commerce and order cloud, including, so I have almost half of my experience is around commerce. So today we are going to cover about e-commerce because we need to understand what is e-commerce before we start with what is order cloud. Then we'll go to understand about order cloud, its fundamental. We'll see some API calls from order cloud dashboard. We'll see some demo and then we can have a Q&A session. So first of all, e-commerce. E-commerce we all have come across in our life, and e-commerce is basically about selling of product or any entity or service which you sell. Product, for example, we buy a lot of things from online stores. Um Services are like you buy Netflix or you buy any subscription or you're paying for any entertainment piece. Those are like services which you're paying for. Those are also kind of e-commerce. Uh, in e-commerce, what you do is you accept orders. So accept my I'll hold it. So accepting order, processing order, and getting it delivered. That is one piece which we see in e-commerce. So, for example, when you order something online store, so it gets order gets accepted and it takes time to process and all those, these all pieces come within e-commerce. What we are getting out of e-commerce, because if you see somewhere around I'm not sure 10 15 years back, these e-commerce stuff has recently, I would say, it has come in market. What it has given us is the time saver, because you sit at home and you get things delivered. It also comes with low cost, because basically there is no cost involved for store and all, because things are being sold online. You get discount sometimes. It is widely available because you don't have to go to any city to buy it, because you can order it from any city you want. You can have personalized experience like what you are interested in. Based on that, it can personalize and give you those product or services available. And easy customer services, that is like, these are services which is online available, so you call and you get those services. So that's, these are the part which comes as a part of e-commerce. So again, you would have already gone through these e-commerce services like Amazon is there. We would have gone on Myntra, Flipkart. All these are part of e-commerce. And recently, we have also seen quick commerce, which is like you get it delivered in 5 minutes, 7 minutes. All those promises within Blinkit, Zepto, Big Basket. Now these are the part. These are like child of commerce, you can say. This is quick commerce. So yeah. So where Order Cloud comes into picture is, Order Cloud is one of the product which is helping you to build e-commerce services. It could be B2B, B2C, or B2X. For example, let's say if you want to build a website for selling clothes, so that's B2C. So you can have your catalog ready. Your catalog will show all the products which are available there, and then you can see the details of product. Then you can pick size, you can place order. It will have those order processing, and it will get delivered to you. So you would have already come across um navigating through, let's say, Flipkart. You want to buy TV, so you will see all the listings. You will have some filters. That is called PLP in our technical world. So PLP is product listing. You get all the list of product summarized in small section so that you can see the details like, okay, what is the rating, what is the price and all, and then you can get into details of those product. Hey, I would like to know more detail, and that's called product detail page. You get more detail about the product and what offers are there, what will be the cost, what is the variant, all those information you get there. So TDP and PLP are like basic terminology which we use in e-commerce world. So OrderCloud is cloud-based API service which is being provided to build B2B, B2C, or B2X commerce marketplaces. Um it it is a solution which comes with um, having a website for any client to serve a B2B or B2C. It also comes with admin tool, which is like basic admin tool will be there, which gives option to organize your order, like managing orders and all that. That can be done from the UI, which I can quickly show. This is one of the simple Order Cloud buyer app where you can just start putting your products there, and then it will have product detail page as well. This is a admin app which can have the administrative thing of that. So buyer is basically available for your customer or your business. It could be anything. It is available for them to navigate and make an order or place or generate a lead. Where admin app is something as a seller you can organize it. For example, you got an order and you want to process it, or you want to see how many orders are coming, or you want to check more details about payment, and also those all can be integrated here. So this piece, like very basic piece, comes here, but you can extend it the way you want. So some basics on Order Cloud terminology. So first of all, the topmost piece which comes for Order Cloud is marketplace. So you need to have a marketplace ready. Marketplace, you can say like Myntra is a marketplace, or Amazon is a marketplace, or anything. You are building a clothing a brand, and that clothing brand could be a marketplace. So first setup is marketplace. You'll have to do. Then it comes as buyer. Buyer is basically a real world entity. Buyer, as term says, buyer is the targeted customer or audience where you're trying to sell it. So for example, let's say there are buyer group which targets only kids club. So that those are your buyers. So buyer is one of the primary entity which you will have to create in Order Cloud. Then comes supplier. Who is supplying it? So there will be one or more supplier for your product. So for example, Amazon, we are all using it. So who are buyers? We are buyers. So we are organized into an entity that is called buyer. Suppliers are the when you check out product, you would have seen the product, but if you go get into detail, it will also tell you if it is sold from someone. So who is selling it? Even I can sell it. Okay. So I can be a supplier. So Amazon will have multiple suppliers. But so your use case may be having one supplier or multiple supplier. One supplier could be like, let's say there is a brand which generates their own product and sell it. For example, Lenskart, they have one warehouse in Delhi. Wherever you are in India, you are trying to place that order, that gets manufactured in Delhi only. So there is one supplier only, but they are serving all the buyers within India. Uh, So seller, supplier, these are like a mixed term. There are some terms which are confusing in Order Cloud. Reason being like this was 451. There were some changes which has happened in terminology. These terms are confusing a little bit. Catalog is the yeah, I would say it's a container which holds your entity or product which you are going to sell. So you may have one catalog, you may have multiple catalog. For example, you have a catalog for shirts, you have catalog for shoes. So these are categories, or you can define these into categories, or you can define these into catalog. It is again up to business how they want to hold it. Okay, so first thing is, how do we talk to OrderCloud? Because all these entities are fine, but how you're talking to OrderCloud? So for for that, you need an API client which can talk through APIs to OrderCloud. And now API client cannot simply serve the purpose, because API client can be different for a buyer, and it can be different for admin who is monitoring these orders, or who are administrating this your a warehouse. So API client will not be just one API client. It can be multiple API client based on what is the use case. So in very simple, at least two API client you will need. One is the API client which access website and see your products there. And another API client is something where you would like to have your lead or order being monitored or viewed, and that will be administrative admin and admin API client, you can say. So now these both API client cannot have same power, because a buyer can see product, but admin can even edit product, remove product, or do any action. So that's where security profile comes into picture, where API clients will be associated with security profile, and that will define whether you can make an action in OrderCloud or not. So one of the example I'll share here is uh, I would say this is a good example for a website. So you have created your client buyer. It's a set of users. So let's say client underscore buyer, and that's how you have named it. So all those small icons are the buyers which are contained within that. So those are the users who are coming to your website. How they come to your website? They request for a grant type, which is password. So they will request for when there is grant type password, you will have to give username password, and it will OrderCloud will return you a token. So for that, we need to create an API client. So let's say we have created buyer storefront API client because it is for buyer, and this storefront API client is governed, or its role is governed by buyer profile, which is a security profile which we have created. Now what this security profile does is it gives you some access, like me address, me admin, password reset, shopper is like very basic role which you will have to give somebody is shopping on website. So out of these roles, if you have a token with these power, you cannot go and modify anything on OrderCloud. You can just read it mostly. You can modify few of the things like me address, me admin, me subscription. So you can modify things which relates to you. For example, you have a profile, so you can modify it. You have a address, you can modify it. So because it is your data, you can modify it, but you don't have any power that you can modify some other data. Like you can't change product data and all those stuff. So this is one example. Another example of security profile. This I would say. In admin. So if you have created an admin page and you are administrating it, so for that again, there could be different approach of having this admin. You may have one username or password which can be used by everyone, and you can have different users. So for example, your admin wants, like, there are 4 users, and they want to monitor, govern all those orders, how it is flowing. And also here also you can follow the same funda of having grant type password. Every user will have a unique username and password, but what changes here is the roles which we have assigned. So for example, if I want that these admin users can change product, or can delete product, or make some changes in product, that's where we'll have to define those product admin role or promotion admin role. So that's how we separated these two clients. We separated. Now if you use that client, the storefront client, you can't perform any action on product, but when you are using as a admin user or you are administrating it, you can actually do whatever you want with product or promotion or price or order or anything. Hey, one of the very common use case comes into picture is like definitely you will have a storefront API client which we talked about, like it will have some power and then you do a password grant type and JWT token is generated and buyer can navigate on website. There is another use case which comes as a middleware. So for example, you want to perform some action based on let's say if somebody add a product to the cart. So before it is added to the cart, you want to check whether inventory is there or not. Or let's say you want to have some validation rule before it actually gets added to the cart. And that's where your middleware will come into picture. Now, middleware, what it is going to do is it is going to perform some check like, hey, inventory is there or not, price is there or not, whether promotion can be applied or not. So there could be many examples, but what middleware will do is we will have a separate API client as a middleware, and that will be client credential. Client credential will be like there will be just one client ID and client secret, and that will generate a token, and you can utilize it for making any action uh, uh, with different roles like product admin supplier. So you can have different role for this API client, and you can perform actions which can do your validation part. And because when you're validating it, you need to maybe read price entity, you need to read inventory, you need to check promotion and all those stuff. That cannot be done with the token which buyer is holding. And that is the reason you need a middleware API client. Now, this, when I say middleware, it is all happening on the server side mostly, because we cannot do these stuff on client side, because if you reveal JWT token, then you're gone, because anyone can come and delete whole of your product itself. So that JWT token can be used on client side safely because we know what power we are giving. But the middleware API client where we are giving more power, we cannot reveal it. So these are basically server side part which we use for middleware actions. Line item adding product to cart was just an example. You can have multiple, like when you place order, so you won't just place an order. Before that you will have to check a lot of things, like when I'm placing order, whether by the time inventory is there or not, whether every information is there or not, whether billing address, shipping address is given or not. So all those check you can do in backend. Okay, so when you get started with OrderCloud, few setup will have to do. So first of all is creating a marketplace, then creating a supplier or seller, again confusing terms, but basically the one who is supplying the product. So it could be one, it could be many. Then you will have to create some admin users, because you want to have your admin tool running and somebody is monitoring it. Um, then you will have to create some API clients, which we talked about. Like there will be API client for buyers, there will be for sellers, for administrating few things. Uh, then you need a catalog. Catalog. I'll go through these on an OrderCloud dashboard. So you need a catalog. You will have some product there. You will have some price there, and there will be categories created if you want. So, for example, you will have a catalog of fashion, and within that fashion you have categories of shirt, shoes, and within that you have products. So that, like that, you will categorize them into categories. uh, then catalog need to be associated to buyer. So when you create some products or categories in order cloud, it will not directly appear to buyer until you associate it. So just a product being in order cloud doesn't say like it will be available for website. It need to be associated to proper buyer, or it need to be associated to a category. It need to be associated to a catalog. So there should be a connection between product to buyer to show it. And again, you will have to create buyer, and you will have to assign some roles we talked about. So I will not speak about that. But what is create buyer? Create buyer is like when you go to Amazon and you log in. So when you log in, you are a buyer. So when the login is happening, or when you're creating an account, so during creation of account, we will hold that entity as a buyer. That is what is create buyer entity. So for all logged in user, there will be a buyer entity, and that need to be created in the backend or in OrderCloud basically. So I being a logged in user for a website, I'll be a buyer. You being a logged in user in a website, you will be a buyer. Uh, what about anonymous? Because it is not necessarily like you will have to log in and check out, because some of the website you can directly check out. So for that, there will be a dedicated anonymous buyer set, which runs for a generic in anonymous context. Uh, so even if you want to enable guest checkout, or basically anonymous checkout, or navigation on website, that can be enabled. Um, I'll go to OrderCloud dashboard so that I explain these, and then I'll come back to slide. Yeah, coming back to OrderCloud portal, we were talking about marketplace. So this is a marketplace which is created. You can create it from here. Once a marketplace is created, here you can create a new marketplace. So these are some test marketplace which is created. So once you have a marketplace created, you will be owning that marketplace. Come on. You can click on any marketplace, and then you can go to API console, and that's where you will see API client. So I was talking about API client. So for example, this is an API client for shopper to navigate to the website. So there, whenever you create a API client, you will have client ID. Then some other configuration like how long this token will stay, and there is a user associated to it. Then I also spoke about security profile. So for example, you have created a security profile for buyer. So those you will be assigning, like me admin is there, password reset is there, and shopper is there. So shopper is enough for enough role for navigating on website. But in some cases, you might have to give some additional role. So for example, uh, your website gives you option to do a password reset. So you'll have to give that option. Otherwise, they won't be able to use this password reset feature. Your website can give option to user to change their, let's say, first name, last name. So those all will be hold within that user profile itself. So that's why me admin is given. So that's how you decide what role need to be given. But whenever you even click on this role, you make sure like these tokens are going to get revealed. So always analyze about security. That's how we should proceed. Otherwise, it is very easy for somebody to just read the token because it is JWT token, and they will understand. They will just go to documentation. They will understand what they have access for. Um, then I was talking about buyers. So you can create buyers here. So if you see there were some buyer sample buyers created, so you can have uh, a buyer as a container. And within that buyer only, all the users get created. So for example, if there is a buyer, sorry, I have to hit this. Yeah, so there is a there are multiple buyers created. I'll take one of them. So this is buyer, and if I go here, buyer, so within seems like there is maybe some other buyer will have users. Maybe this one. So within buyer, you will have a user. So this is one of the user which is created. It has email ID and all those stuff. So those information are hold here. Then, as I said, you can create suppliers. Then product can be created here. You can list all the products when you hit send request. So you will see all the list. And this is used for listing page. You'll get all the information. You can get n number of product, maximum 200, and you can show it on website. Then price for that product can be hold here. Inventory for that product will go here. And when an order is placed, it is going to show here. Cart is something old. You can completely ignore it. Orders is everything as of now. Line items are like when you create product, sorry, when you place order. So within order, you will have multiple products added to the cart. That is line item. Again, when you have to create line item, you will have to give the order ID and line item product ID, and then you can define quantity, like how many quantity is going to be used. Then promotions, I don't think we'll have much time to go through, but basically, if you want to promote some product with 5%, 10% of those things, we can have here. Me and my stuff is a area where you get contextual data. For example, when you are logged in, so it will show you your logged in information, your address, what catalog you can see, what products and orders you can see. So when you place order, there are some orders which belongs to you. Those can only be shown in my orders. So if I go to order as a buyer, I cannot see it because I cannot see all the orders. But if I'm buyer, I'll have to go to my orders to see my orders only. So these are my me and my stuff APIs which can be used on sorry, difference between buyer is basically container, you can say. So think of a case where you have different set of buyers. So I don't know how to give an example. Okay, there is Gen Z buyers. There are some buyers who are like for you're categorizing them for let's say some are old age buyers. So you if you want to categorize, so you can have containers within that, or you can have a business case where you want to have some buyers who can navigate to some section of area but cannot go to other area. So if you want to differentiate them, then you will need a container. So buyer is just a container. Within that, buyer users are hold. So it's just a container. We define it. Whatever roles are needed, we define it. Uh, okay, so documentation will not tell like this is the role and what it does. Documentation tells in different way. Like if you have an API, so let's say order API is there. So to invoke that order API, what all roles are needed, that will be mentioned in a document. So for example, when you go for documentation of order API, so it will tell you um, somebody who is having order reader role can invoke it. So when you're building that API, so we'll have to go to documentation and see like, okay, I want to read orders. So for that, what I should assign? So I'll do order reader, but I can also do a order admin because documentation will say you can do order reader or order admin. Now it is up to me what I want to. If I'm building API for buyer user, I should be smart enough to know that I have to assign order reader, not order admin. Because order admin means they can change anything on order, but order reader means they can just read orders.
Okay. If it is like that, it is very difficult to to manage or like to assign these roles, right? So see, as a developer, maybe I can go to the API and then I understand like what this role might do, right? But if we have someone else in the organization who is managing these profiles, roles, and everything, right? So if they need to understand like what is this, right? So do we have those clear explanations somewhere? Because it is not that every time the developer does this, right?
These are about security, so somebody should know that, then only they are allowed to do it. So for in my opinion, if I give somebody permission to change role, I must know that that person knows about role. So I cannot so for example, every company will have IT, but will you give somebody else in will you give employees those power to change something in IT side? No, because ITs are expert there. So for
No, no,
roles
I
also somebody
understand.
should be
But
expert.
what my question is, in the order cloud documentation, anywhere do we have that clear explanation what this role does? Because without that, even as a developer, I may not know, right? I cannot like go into the details of the API and then understand like me admin does all these things. So you were saying like, for example, reset password. That is like straightforward thing, which I can understand. Like if I want the customers to give the ability to like reset the password, then they can. I need to assign that to the buyer, right? But there are number of other roles. How do I know like what role is what activity or like what capability it gives?
API document only. API document tells every API tells about that role.
Oh, I mean, do we have detailed explanation in
It
the
is, I mean, it is up to their documentation. It is not like somewhere it is written like this role is doing this. It is like this API
Mhm.
will get you a list of orders and what roles you need. That that data is in API documentation.
Okay. There's no like straightforward mapping of the explanation.
No, I
Okay.
have not seen it.
Ah.
Maybe I mean, again their documentation has changed recently
Mhm.
because I was working last year, and if you see this year, documentation is like very new to me as well. But as far as I have seen, I have not seen the documentation this year very much, but I have seen that API. You go to API details, it will tell you all the roles. Each like if you're making input call, patch call, it will tell you all the details like which role is needed to invoke that API.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. One more slide. So in one of the slide you mentioned that so we need to assign a catalog to a buyer, right? So buyers are like the end users as well. I mean, it is just one entity to identify like group of users, right? So so I define a buyer as a developer, right? So and then there are like certain set of users who the profiles will be created under a buyer. So each time, do I need to associate the catalog or like I just need to do it once for each user?
It is not for user, it is for the buyer
Buyer entity.
entity which I said, the
Okay.
group.
Okay.
Okay, I mean you
Mhm.
can do it for user, I'm not sure, but why would um if I'm architecting it, I will not put something um, which associate directly. I will create a group. If I know that today there are 10 users and tomorrow there are going to be 11, 12, 13, so that time I should design the architecture in that way so that I'll have a wrapper. So when a user is added to that group, it will automatically reflect. And that is how we also choose it for security profile as well. Because when we have a security profile created, we can associate to one user. So for example, I created admin security profile for me. I can associate to me. But tomorrow, if you need another admin, you will have to again go and associate it. But if you create a group, so there is an admin group. So you have to just add that user to admin group and security profile automatically reflects. So this funda is used for all the association which exist in Order Cloud.
Okay. And catalog can assign without a category.
Huh.
Catalog can be without a category, right?
Catalog itself becomes a parent entity, and that's why
Mhm.
you are associating it to buyer. But no, what was the catalog can be
Category.
category.
Each catalog should have a category, or like it is optional?
Category is optional.
Optional.
If you don't want, then your all product directly sits under catalog.
Okay. Is there any restriction on how many categories that we can have?
Not anything which is documented. I have worked for maybe 300, 400 categories I have seen.
No, I mean like the hierarchy of the categories, like levels of the categories.
Hierarchy also I have not seen any restriction. I
Okay.
have worked till level 3, but I have not seen any restriction.
Okay.
Means as per document, it is not. But internally, if they have something that you will get to know when you're talking to OrderCloud.
Okay. Until 3, I mean, with your
Three?
experience, there is no.
300% I know.
Okay.
3 or I would say 4, I 100%. Because
Okay.
we have done 3 and 4.
Okay. One last question I had. I don't know if you are going to cover in the upcoming slides regarding the OrderCloud admin portal.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you could explain like what is available out of the box, I think that would be really helpful. Because see, I have like lots of things to understand. So what is available out of the box? If there is a group of people in the organization who manages the products, right? So whether the admin portal is, I can assign that admin portal to them to manage entire products. Is that a capability out of the box? I want to know.
You want to know what is available for admin tool, which is out of the box coming, right?
Not as an admin. Admin can do anything, right? So, so there is a group of people who manage the products.
Okay.
Right. So in the organization, it is not the developers. Developers does once, and then later it is the responsibility of the other team, product management team. So can they use the admin portal as the basic PIM? I'm not expecting like all the features of the PIM to be available. I want to know what are the things available out of the box without any customization.
I'm still not getting. Do you looking for features which are available or the or access which is available?
No, features which are available, whether those features are enough for the product management team to manage the products in an organization.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So products can be seen there, promotion can be seen there, categories can be seen there, catalog can be seen there. These are available, but these are only available if you are creating those set of user API client in such a way that they have access. So for example, you are looking for a set of users who can modify product, for example. So it will not directly work. You will have to create an API client. You will have to have those set of users associated with a role or security profile which says product admin. So when they log in, their token will have product administrative token, and that's where they'll be able to go to product and modify if they want. So so again, iterating features are there, but it all depends upon how you are creating API clients to access that.
No, there might be some clients, API clients already available out of the box, right?
No, you're creating
everything we need to create out of
yes,
from scratch.
Yes. First setup is needed, which I shared in the slide. First setup is needed. Even marketplace also you need to create. Marketplace, that's the top level entity. Marketplace you're creating, and everything is empty. You will have to create it. So as a beginner, or I would say as a developer, how we started, like when we just create a API client with admin role, so that we at least first see what is happening. Then we refine those security based on what is the ask, and then we put it across whether it is admin tool, whether it is buyer, whether it is middleware code which is executing it. That's how we define it.
Even the price management can be done through that admin portal.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
But again, how complex is price? That also
and different
matters.
versions of the products.
Versioning, I have not seen here. Versioning.
It replaces like whatever is previously overrides.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is somewhere like Sitecore also says, like if you have like DAM to hold these information where they are managing, because not all clients would like to have all these product data sitting in your order cloud. Okay, because they might have their own solution, or let's say, for example, D365, they hold all the information there. They would like to push the latest data to order cloud. So OrderCloud is a commerce platform. So we'll always have to understand that it is not a place where you can hold data. It is your commerce solution. It will enable you to check out on website. If you put a lot of data on that, that is not going to work. So for example, you have huge number of product information in your product and you want to put it on OrderCloud, that's not possible. You will have to get it from somewhere else. So another example, like you have a product. If you want to have additional information about that product, the maximum limit is 8,000 byte. You cannot go beyond that.
Okay.
So you will have to plan your solution in such a way that you will have to only hold important information to the product within that 8,000 byte. Those information should be there. So given an example, like you want to have facets. Facets means you will see on product listing page there will be filters, right? So if those filters are there, those need to be indexed. So let's say you have 10 filters. So those filters can only govern if you hold them in OrderCloud out of the box. So you will have to have those property there. But if you have product description, for example, and somehow you are not able to hold it in OrderCloud, then you will have to host it somewhere else. You'll have to get it to somewhere else where the actual product data exists.
Okay. So is that admin portal part of your slide, upcoming slides? I just wanted to see like how it looks and what is available out of the box.
I don't have it running,
Okay.
but I can check offline.
Okay.
I don't have running for this.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Cart and order. So as I said, like cart was very old entity or a way of handling things in order cloud, but now everything is order. Uh, when you are on website and when you're checking out, cart is something which is a order which is not submitted is a cart. So that's how you can treat it. And once it gets submitted, it converts into order. So both cart and order entities are same. There is no difference in order cloud. So like I'm putting this because we should not get confused between cart and order, because in order cloud, order entity, cart entities are same. Okay. We have seen this. I was talking about those APIs where you can create catalog product, and also one thing which I was talking about is XP. So I said 8,000 bytes limit. This is what it is like working with XP product XP on entities. So if you have additional information about product which are not available as out of the box property, you can hold it in XP. Uh, in it is not just for product. In many of the Sitecore order cloud entities, you will have XP property. So for example, you are creating a buyer, but when you created a buyer, you also want to hold some information like when that buyer was created. Just an example. So you can have it on XP dot created date. So those information can go there. So product XP is there. You will have order XP, you will have a buyer XP, and lot of entities catalog XP. Everywhere you'll get XP. But remember, every XP has limit of 8,000 byte. If you cross it, you cannot when you cross it when you make an API call, it will not save. Basically, it will throw error. It can be seen, yes. So it uh, so what happens is when commerce when we plan a commerce solutioning, every client will have its own property. You cannot put it on direct entities, because there will be size. Somebody will be interested in weight. So you cannot put all those things because it becomes garbage then. Because some of the client will be using it, they will not use it. If I'm not sure if you have worked on Sitecore Commerce, so there were some property, but now in OrderCloud it is very limited because they're putting it on XP. XP is dynamic, completely dynamic. It is, you can say, like a dynamic object in C# class, or it is just a JSON. So you will have to plan that JSON and you can put whatever data you want. You can see it. So it will appear as a JSON there because it's dynamic entity. Now you populate and you can see it. Just one rule is with the XPR, like you in your code you need to make sure like you're not breaking the rule of this dynamic objects. So for example, in one of the place you define product XP and you're having a property like can product be sold, and you're marking it as a boolean false or true. So in one product you have defined this, but in another product you are making it a string as true. So OrderCloud will get confused, like the one property is having two type of data. That's not possible. So that rule we should follow. We have to not break it because you are playing with dynamic objects. So you will have to take care of that. So again, XP is available in all the entities and we can use it the way we want. And mostly product XP though, anyway, we need it because we have to we need some data. Yeah, I have more slides, but I'll go very fast now. So this is very basic example of how it gets categorized. Uh, you will have different categories like dog category, food category, and within that dry categories there. Then you will have a product. Product may have different variants. So for example, one food is of 6 pound, 15 pound, 30 pound. So you have a product variant. Then you also see like this product is available on store one and is not available on store two. So if some buyer is coming and going to store one and they can check out this product because price is available, inventory is available. So if I go to this store, if I select this product and if I select this variant, I don't have anything, I cannot check out. If I go to this store, come to this product, this variant 15 pound, price is 29 which I'll have to pay, and quantity is available, so at least maximum up to 5 I can order it. If I go to this store, product is not there, I cannot order. So this is very basic example of how setup is there. So inventory record, again, you can create it in OrderCloud. Price schedule is gets created in OrderCloud. We have like broken all the complexity with price schedules, and we had some examples where we had um, 25,000 products and let's say some hundreds of stores. Okay, so think of iteration. Let's say 25,000 objects are products are there 20, and you have let's say 100 stores. Think of iteration, how many price you will have, because every store is selling at their own price. It can be same, it can be different. So for example, I may go on Amazon and I'm buying a dog food, or I'm buying a shirt or I'm buying a shoe of $10, but on Flipkart it is less. So different store, different price. So the data becomes million, and it's very hard to uh, hold it as a separate entity. So we have seen this complexity here, but we were able to handle it. Again, depends upon how do customer want it. They want to check inventory record, yes. If they want to check it from third party, we can put it somewhere in API and we can exclude it.
I mean, do you order, I can check it at the later stage. It's not mandatory that while adding to the cart itself.
It is not mandatory.
Okay.
Yes. By default, it is not mandatory actually. You will have to enforce this.
Okay.
Yes. So when I say by default means when you are trying to make a sample order in OrderCloud, you actually don't need price, you don't need inventory, you can directly place it. But it is on our implementation, like whether we want to enforce those rules or not. And that's where we'll put an inventory record or price check.
It's also actually the same.
Yes, even I like because entities can be created, but when you enforce it, so if you associate price, then only it will get added. But if you are not enforcing, it becomes price zero, right?
No, to appear on the website, e-commerce site, as a sellable product, the price is mandatory.
No.
No?
So,
Oh, if I just create the product and it can be like made sellable
yes.
without the
No,
price.
not sellable.
Huh.
You can see that.
I
Okay,
can see.
okay. Think
No,
of this. Think
I'm
of it.
asking from the customer perspective.
See, customer perspective, everything will have to think and build in that way. I'm saying out of the box, it will not force you to have inventory or price. But customer is saying we need prices, we'll have to show it. We'll have to put those rules, like a product can be shown if price is available.
No, I can sell a product like with a price of $0 or like zero.
Select means I'm not getting.
I create a product which should be made available for the customer on the website. It should appear on the website. For example, Amazon, right? So I'm listing the products. So if I create the product from the order cloud, so without the price and the inventory, does it appear directly on the website?
It can appear. Does it appear? I would say is the wrong question. It can appear. It is upon. I would, if I'm developing, I'll ask customer like, how do you want to have it? Because I'll tell you one example. You would have bought a phone which is 10 years back. You would have bought one phone. Okay. If you go and click that, it will appear on your page, but nothing will be there. No price, no store, nothing is there. They have to show it. So in some cases they will be showing it. So for maybe for example, I go to Amazon, I see like 10 years back I've purchased one phone. That PDP is still available. I can see that product, but there's no price. So that's customer need. But somewhere on website you will click and a product not found. So it is upon how they want to show it on
But I
website.
think in some of the e-commerce background, I mean, these kind of tools, right? So there will be few things mandatory, like the inventory or the price should be mandatory. Otherwise, if there is no price, you cannot show the product on the website.
Okay.
So like that, I'm asking like, what are those mandatory things that we need to assign to a product to make it sellable?
It's not my association.
Nothing is mandatory.
Yes, because okay, think from order cloud perspective. You are creating a product, order cloud, which can serve to hundreds of customers. What if one customer comes and says like, hey, I want a lead generation website. So when that when requirement comes for lead generation, quantity doesn't matter because it is just lead generation, like somebody is interested in that product. In that case, you will go and ask order cloud, hey, your website is blocking me without inventory checkout, and how I can create that lead generation. So that's why they have not made it like that. Because if they enforce rule, there will be some customer who don't want it and they will have to eliminate it somehow.
So this everything like as a during the development, we need to keep in mind that these are the things that we need to enforce. Like without the price, I cannot make it sellable.
Yes.
Oh.
There are rules. I can get into more technicals like how it works, but by default it doesn't. You will have to go by a certain flow, then only it will work.
Okay.
Okay, quickly. Order cloud middleware. Middleware comes into picture where you want to make some operation which is happening in backend or operational. For example, checking out once order is getting placed, how to process it and all those stuff. So it basically runs on server side, and server side could be anything. You can host your own app. You can have Azure functions within that. You can have functions created, and that will serve you as a backend. Then you can have anything created in MVC project itself, or you can have even next server side as well. If you have very small operation to do, you can create next server side. There are webhooks available. So for example, anything which you want to create as a okay, so I gave an example like I'm adding a product to the cart and I want to check whether inventory is there or not. So that we can use within webhook. So webhook in order cloud comes with two setup, pre-hook and post-hook. Pre-hook is something like before action is taken, it will come to your code. You will decide that whether that action should go forward or not. So for example, you added product to the cart. I'll configure a pre-hook. The code will hit. I will check that product quantity is there or not. And I will tell, hey, quantity is there, go forward. And then only item will get added to the cart. So that's how this backend webhook is working. But if inventory is not there, I block it. Add to cart will not happen. There will be error. And that error can be gracefully handled on UI. That's about webhook. This is just difference between the webhook and API. API is like where you ask for something and it gives you something, but webhook is like it generates data for you. There could be some post hook as well. For example, after order gets placed, you want to send this order to some other third party system. So that's where a post hook comes. Very fundamental thing, but the only difference is like we have a pre hook where we can do some maths before we actually perform action in order cloud. I think that's all. We already had Q&A, but any other question? Yes.
So these are stores and we don't want to make it store centric. Like I have n number of products, right? Then user can search it and they will give us that these are the options of the stores and these are the products and its pricing. Is it possible with Order Cloud?
Op- Store options and product.
I don't want to make this store centric. All the products will be listed that in store one, product one, store two, product one with these price. So these kind of setup is possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So all store information is available, product information available, but all these things probably will have to execute it in some middleware code because we cannot have, even if we get read power, but we cannot give read power to whole of the entity in order cloud. So for example, store data could be sensitive because you might hold some sensitive information about a store within your order cloud. So you may have to handle it in backend.
Okay. And the second question is about migration. If I have existing data, products, users, can Order Cloud import it directly or I need to manually do that process?
Directly means that definitely there will be some uh, integration code which we will have to write. Like there is no ready-made tool which can do it. I'm not sure if it is within Sitecore Commerce to Order Cloud also have. There are something between Sitecore Commerce to Order Cloud, but any data cannot be converted. Anyway, you'll have to write those code. But good thing is like you can throttle these if you. So for example, you have millions of data. If you want to make an API call, so some API call somewhere takes 250 to 300 milliseconds. If you multiply with that, and if you have 2 million data input, it will take your whole day. And I'm not sure it will get executed or not, but you can throttle them. So you can maybe put a throttle of 50, 100. So 100 requests goes together in Order Cloud, updates it. So every time 100 requests is alive and it keeps bombarding so that if your operation was going to take 1 day or something, it can get completed in 1 hour also. So again, these I have done extensively many times because I was handling millions of data for a client and it is possible. One thing which from Order Cloud side, it will be limited because Order Cloud is also in a cloud environment and you cannot like put 100 200 requests is fine, but if you make thousands of requests in one call itself, then Order Cloud will also say like, hey, this is too much. So that is agreement between Order Cloud and us, like how much we can throttle it.
Thank you.
Have any migration tools in horizontal for from to migrate the data from the commerce to Sitecore Commerce to Order Cloud?
No, because we also didn't end up in this situation.
Okay, right now you don't have like anything out of, I mean, which is already built.
No, because we didn't need it anytime. But like even for Order Cloud, it was all new. Thanks for executing.
Okay.
Anything else? Yes. Which data? Sorry. Okay. Huh.
Can we import that to the Order Cloud?
Whatever information is needed to be shown on website. That is one important piece. And second important piece is how much data is really needed. So as I said, like you have limit of 8,000 bytes. So you try to pull information that are only needed and that comes within that 8,000 byte. Otherwise, so for example, you have a product description in list of a string, but list of a string can be one string, two string, or 10 string, or 20 string. So if you try to put that data, so sometimes it might break because one of the product is having 20 list of string having description of the product. It may break one. So you will have to always keep in mind that this is commerce solution. This is not data storing solution where you can put all your data and
Yeah, other question. So between the cross devices, so I actually add the product in the desktop, but I check out in the mobile. So how are we managing the session for that? That is in order cloud or some.
sorry. I
So
didn't
I have
get.
added the product in the desktop. So we can, so
Ah.
we see the Flipkart, right? We have the app also. We can now have the desktop application also, right?
Ah.
So actually I've added the product in the either of the device, but I checked in the other device. So how are we managing the session? That is not.
If you're logged in, it will always show in your account.
Sorry, account.
You're logged in or
I
anonymous?
logged in.
Logged in, right? So logged in means it will. So whatever device you use, logged in will always hold your card and can be shown.
That will be handled by OrderCloud.
Yeah, it is easy. It doesn't actually need session. It is just entity which is mapped to your user. Session will be needed when it didn't have any information about you. But when you're logged in, it has all information about you. So it will have a latest card of it. But anonymous, it is not possible because anonymous is browser versus session based. So your browser identity in your laptop is different than browser identity in your mobile. So you cannot merge this. That's all. Thank you.